It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's Halloween, witches. I hope you're excited. I am. I love spooky season. Today, to get us in the spirit of Halloween, we will be discussing the dark origins of this holiday and its traditions. Hey everyone, what's up and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. I'm your host, Lindsay Ivan, and today we are looking at the top 10 dark origins of Halloween. If you're excited for Halloween, then smash that like button. Obviously, comment something down below. Let me know in the comments, what are you going as for Halloween? I want to know. Let me know. And while you're down there, obviously subscribe to our channel, and now we'll get on with the video. Starting off this countdown, we have Samhain, which I always pronounce as Samhain, but apparently it's Samhain. Don't know how, but okay. Anyways, this was the Celtic festival that was celebrated in Ireland, Scotland, and the Isle of Man. It was said that at this time, the connection between the other world and our world thins, so it makes it easier for spirits and the souls of the dead to come into our world. So they would celebrate the dead and make offerings and sacrifices for them. Another part of this tradition included having the Celtic priest wear dead animal heads and skins and go around making predictions about the future. Most of the stuff they did to celebrate this holiday was done so that the spirits wouldn't get mad at them. Moving on at number 9, we have the deal with the devil. Turns out that jack-o'-lanterns have a pretty dark origin story. They symbolize a deal with the devil gone wrong. So basically, one night a man named Stingy Jack ended up tricking and trapping the devil. He then said he would only let the devil go if he promised that he would never go to hell. I mean, crossing and trying to outsmart the devil is the last thing you should do. So the devil was like, sure my dude, no problem. But what Jack did not realize was that just because he's not going to hell doesn't mean that he's going to heaven. So in the end, when Jack died, he ended up in purgatory, just wandering around for eternity. In the end, he used a turnip and a piece of fiery coal from the devil to create a lantern. That's why it's called jack-o'-lantern. I think it should have been stingy jack-o'-lantern though, that would have been funny. Coming in at number 8, we have the evil spirits. So here is another theory as to how jack-o'-lanterns and pumpkins became associated with Halloween. First off, turnips were used back then before pumpkins. They would hollow out the turnip and carve them into scary faces. This was done in order to scare off any spirits. Then they would light them with a candle or a piece of smoldering coal. The lanterns were then placed in the windows or doorways of their home, hoping that the face they carved was scary enough to scare off the evil spirits and welcome their ancestors inside. In our 7th spot, we have the bats. There are a couple of animals and things that are specifically associated with Halloween, like black bats. How did this happen? Well, there was a creepy myth that many believed from back in the day. The myth was that if a bat was spotted flying around a person's house 3 times, then it meant someone in that house would pass away soon. It was also believed to be bad luck if a bat flew into the person's house. It also meant that someone in the house was going to die. If the bat landed on one person in particular, it meant that that was the person who was dead. In the 1800s, bats were caught drinking the blood of cattle in Central and South America, so people immediately then labeled them as vampires. Then in 1897, Bram Stoker's Dracula depicted vampires shapeshifting into bats, so people were like, yeah, bats and vampires should be feared and they'll come and get you on Halloween. Moving on to number 6, we have the spiders. Spiders are also associated with Halloween. How did this happen? Well, back in the day, they were involved in a number of eerie superstitions. One of them was if a spider falls into a candle or flame and burns up, it meant that witches were nearby. But if you spot a spider on Halloween, it meant that the spirit of one of your ancestors was going to visit you that night. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, depending on how you are with your ancestors. We're now at our 5th and halfway mark with the praying for the dead. This is an old school tradition that may have inspired trick-or-treating. So back in the day, people would go around door to door asking for money or food. In return, they said that they would pray for the dead. But here's the thing. If you denied them, then they would get upset and they would trash your front lawn or your garden, etc. So you kind of were obligated to give them treats, or else you'd get the trick. In our 4th spot, we have the Halloween costumes. What are you guys going as for Halloween this year? Let me know in the comments below. Now, how did the whole dressing up for Halloween thing even start? Well, during Samhain, when people thought that spirits were crossing over into their world, there were a lot of people people that weren't okay with this. They were like, hell no, I don't want to mingle with these spirits, don't come near me. So they thought if they dressed up as one, that they would be left alone. Like, this is POV, I'm the spirit, like, oh bro, you're not a human, you're just a spirit like me, sick, I'll leave you alone, see you later in the afterlife or whatever. That's just one theory as to why costumes became associated with Halloween. At number 3 today we have the sacrifices. So back in the day, the Celts considered November 1st as the day of death. Why? Well, by that time leaves were falling and it was getting darker earlier on and it was getting colder. So they believed that their sun god was losing strength and that Samhain, the lord of death, was taking over. So in order to appease Samhain, druid priests would lead worship ceremonies. They would offer horses, cats, black sheep, and even humans. They would shove them into wicker cages and burn them to death. They figured this would appease him and keep the spirits from harming them. In our second spot, we have the trick-or-treating again. Now, this is one of the things that inspired the whole trick-or-treating thing. So continuing on with my last point about the sacrifices, how did they get these sacrifices? Well, druid priests would go house to house asking for animals or humans that would be given over to Samhain. Those that gave up stuff were promised prosperity. Those that didn't were cursed and threatened. Also, it was believed that the wandering spirits would get hungry, so if you set out a treat for them, then they would leave you be and not trick ya. Nowadays, the candy replaced the whole human sacrifice thing, so I'm glad that we changed our ways. I prefer candy. And in our number 1 spot today we have the fairies. Now you may be thinking, oh fairies, they're so cute, I'll go as a fairy for Halloween. Well, think again. Back in the day, fairies were evil. It was believed that Halloween was a very important day for fairies, and on that day they would steal babies or trick you or even hurt you. They also apparently would hunt after the spirits of those who passed away and bring them down to the gates of hell. And if you bumped into them as they were doing so, well, you were going with them. I never thought fairies could be so evil, so just saying. Alright guys, that's all for today's video. Let me know in the comments below your favorite Halloween spooky movie, because I'm running out of things to watch and I need a good horror movie, so let me know. And speaking of comments, let's move on to our comment shoutout portion. I'll be shouting out comments from the video, top 10 terrifying technologies that scientists are trying to make. Justin Cameron, I swear I always shout out this guy's comments, commented, hey Lindsay, you forgot that the military is making special robot combat cows to help replace soldiers in the field. I know that they're trying to create robot soldiers to replace human soldiers in the field. I don't think they're gonna be cows. As much as I love cows, you guys know it's my favorite animal. If you didn't know, now you know. As much as I love cows, a robot cow, not the same. Probably really creepy. Chris Evers commented, when I hear the sound of Lindsay's voice, I feel my IQ falling drastically. I don't even understand, like my voice just makes you stupid? Okay buddy, okay. Thanks for that comment. And Pete P.S. Vitch commented, I will tell scientists to clone one Lindsay for me. Alright guys, that's all the comments I'm shouting out for today's video. Make sure to comment something down below for a chance to be featured in my next comment shout out. And as always, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to Most Amazing Top 10 for more amazing videos. I've been your host, Lindsay Ivan, and I'll see ya when I see ya. Stay spooky. Happy Halloween.